Welcome, everyone, to July's edition of Tales from the CTO. I'm your host, Jamie McMahon, and thank you for joining us for a quick conversation. And today, what I'd love to have a chat with you about is return to office. And specifically, what are we doing as business leaders to accommodate our return to office plans, depending on what those plans are. And this is kind of top of mind, so to speak. We've had a number of our customers reach out to us and ask, what are other people doing? What considerations are they taking into account? What technology are they investing in to help support, either a return to office, a hybrid work environment, or something of that fashion. So let's have a chat. So I think what we're hearing and tying in is that work is becoming more than where we just get work done, and especially as the lines blur, us living at home and really having a commute to kind of turn our brains off as we head home from the office. It's really important that we invest in technology that kind of starts with community first and is intentional around connecting people, teams, and the organizations that we're a part of, and that we have some form of a robust onboarding experience or something that is intentional around connecting people to culture. And that first, I think, starts with people in the organizational culture, but also people with their teams. And, are we able to leverage, let's say, Microsoft Teams to create a space for people to collaborate on and work together in a functional capacity? Are we able to use products like maybe Workplace from Facebook that can bring us together as a community and help us align on the culture that we're trying to foster at the business? And these are important things and steps that we can take as we come and think about return to office. The next thing we need to think about, I think, is our social by design, almost, in a sense. For we've all been working from home. We've all perhaps said hello to new work colleagues that we haven't actually met in person before, and we've had if you're an individual that's new to an organization, it's been very difficult to create meaningful relationships with people, especially when you're not physically in the same space and you're not able to make that kind of human connection, so to speak, that's been so easy in the past. And so how can we do things that focus on these individuals, these people, to expand their networks and deepen these relationships? And can we use tools like Workplace from Facebook, which we see some customers doing, or I think this is a gap that perhaps Viva might fill once it kind of fully matures and comes to market. But kind of investing in those tools to help create intentional, meaningful relationships with people, I think, is really important. The next consideration is, how do we create a democratic work environment and allow and empower people to have impact from everywhere? And that we need to ensure that there is a level playing field. So when you have people that are working remote, you have people that are in the office, how do we have it such that location is not an advantage, and that people that are not at home, or sorry, not at the office, they have a voice, they can be seen, they can be heard, and they have access to the information that's required to do their job. And what we see some folks, and where we make recommendations to some of our customers, is in investing in real rich meeting technology, whether those are the Surface smart hubs or other smart room systems, to kind of facilitate a richer sense of collaboration when all of us are not physically in the same presence, and therefore location does not become an advantage. And I think the final consideration as we think about return to office is the mental well-being and mental health of all of our employees and all of our team members. It's going to be a large adjustment for some folks that are being asked to come back into the office that have been working from home in a safe space for 18 months, and it's going to be a very large adjustment. We're all creatures of habit. We've spent a very long time building new habits, new patterns, and breaking those will be difficult. Well, it's going to cause stress. It's going to cause anxiety, maybe frustration, anger. And how are we as leaders going to create an environment where people have an ability or a place to have conversations about mental health and mental wellness, and make sure they don't feel alone? And we see, obviously, in addition to leveraging HR experts and the existing processes that are put in place there, sometimes we can create a safe community for people to have these conversations in a transparent fashion through tools like Workplace from Facebook and others. So I think these types of intentional decisions as it relates to technology, I think, might help in asking and answering some of these questions related to what is our return to work strategy, and realizing that the way things were done in the past may not really allow us as businesses to reach our true potential, and that we have an opportunity here to meet our employees, meet our customers where they are now, and where they're developing these new patterns and these new habits to help us all to kind of reach our potential and become more effective and more efficient. So with that, if you have any questions, would love to have a conversation with you about this stuff. I'm quite passionate, as you can see, and looking forward to having the conversation. And thanks so much for your time.